The Kids Tennis Foundation is there to help underprivileged kids take up the sport of tennis. It was a pretty good idea a long time ago, back in 1983 when we started, and it's still going strong. The idea for Kids Tennis Foundation came from when I was in New York playing. Saw what the late Vitas Gerulaitis, who was a great man, was doing for the poor kids in Harlem and other areas of New York City, the Bronx, that were struggling, and he had a really good program there. And a lot of people used to say, well, of course Australia is so lucky you don't have any of these issues. And no, you wouldn't believe it. There's a lot of kids grow up in housing commission flats, their parents have got issues. We've got so many migrant kids, they don't speak English. For example, in some of our schools there's 27 different languages that the kids are speaking. They've got really difficult backgrounds. So the main aim is to put rackets in the hands of kids that would otherwise never get the chance to play.
I believe that sport is a huge part of a child's upbringing, and Paul McNamee reached out to me. I thought it's an incredibly important program where there's a lot of kids that don't have the opportunity to play sport or something that they might love or see on TV, and to have programs that will give them the opportunity to pick up a racket and play a sport. You never know where your next champion is going to come from.
Kids certainly have dreams and aspirations, and they do look up to role models, and the tennis players, they're on a first name basis, whether it's Roger or Novak. And in Australian society, when you think of Ken and Lou and Nuke and Rocket, Rod Laver or Yvonne, I mean, tennis players have had an enormous part of our history and a part of how Australia is judged by the world. That's the reason we have a Grand Slam, because of our tennis history. We get to over 10,000 kids a year, which is pretty good, and now with the Ken Rosewall Regional Project we'll reach a few thousand more in regional areas, so it's a very big program. We have professional coaches go out to the schools, and luckily we've never had to pay for a tennis court or tennis balls or rackets, so it's been really, really good.
1, 2, 3, 4, stand behind your court.
The plan is to get numbers of schools in the regional areas for the kids to be involved in, first of all, Hot Shot program, and that's part of tennis that is really for the beginners, and we want to kind of go to some of the out-of-the-way places and some of the schools that are not financially supported as much, or maybe the kids are not as well off as some of the other kids at other schools. The Hot Shot program is important for the beginning kind of people, because it's played with a smaller racket, with bigger balls and softer balls. So at least it's something for the kids to try in the beginning, because tennis is not an easy game to learn on a full-size tennis court for little ones.
Tennis for children, you can bring self-confidence, self-esteem, a sense of fun and a sense of community. My passion for kids tennis comes from my personal experience. I played tennis when I was a youngster, and it's stayed with me all my life, and it's something which I would love to share with the rest of the community, especially the Australian community. My role at the Foundation is an enthusiastic supporter. We'll be providing money, we'll be providing some infrastructure, but mainly as a supporter. The good news for this foundation is there's a very strong infrastructure to allow it to work, to allow it to succeed, and frankly anybody getting involved knows the money's going into a structure which allows it to be delivered, and that's the key.
The youngest man ever in the Australian Open. And the
Kids Tennis Foundation, even though it's got the word tennis in it, it's really a social welfare program. It's there to raise the self-esteem and self-confidence of kids that have got it a little bit harder in life, and create a life skill and a social skill that they can carry for the rest of their life.